Hello, Robin Gillen here. I've been asked by Roger Green if I would say something about five-string banjo and maybe play a piece and relate it to um, the civil rights movement, the Black Lives Matter movement. And I've been playing banjo since I was 16. I'm 46 now, so quite a while. And I initially heard it from my dad. My dad was a friend of Peggy Seeger, who was a sister of Pete Seeger, the civil rights activist and musician, very famous. He used the banjo um, to reach millions of people. Um, the banjo is originally from Africa, and it's not till it was always known, but I remember saying this to people years ago, and people are arguing with me. So no, it can't be. Surely it's from Ireland or somewhere. And I said no, it's from Africa, as far as I know. And here is a drawing, an illustration from 1770 apparently, an instrument from I think that's from Mali, but these instruments are still played in West Africa, Mali, Ghana, Ivory Coast, and they were generally made from a hollowed out gourd, which is like a pumpkin, like for a squash family, and with skin over. And many of them had this fifth string drones as well, and they were played in down picking style, still are. And in fact, a gig I did once, I had my banjo, and there was a guy from Mali there playing one of those gourd type instruments, and he had a guy on the banjo, and it was exactly the same technique. Sadly, they came to America via slave ships and became almost like a national American instrument. And outrageously, they're actually used in sort of black minstrel type bands, sort of mocking black culture, which is a big shame. It's outrageous and sad. But there always have been black banjo players in America, um, and fiddle players as well, and they've often tried to put the word out to younger black people. No, this is your culture. This is your instrument. Don't be ashamed of it. Um, if it was part of my culture, well, other than my dad playing it in London, I'd be very, very proud because it's a fantastic instrument. And an example of some of the black musicians who were trying to encourage younger black musicians to get involved with playing banjo were the brothers Odell and Joe Thompson. Sadly, they passed away, I think both about 10 years ago. But if they could have seen bands like the Carolina Chocolate Drops and singers and banjo players like Rhiannon Giddings playing today, and reclaiming this instrument for black people, I think they would have been very, very proud. And I think it's also worth a note on early recording artists. They tended to categorize people. So black people were guided. They wanted to record black blues music, so therefore black musicians were more likely to go into blues. And with white country musicians, they wanted them to play fiddle and banjo, so they were kind of siphoned in the other direction. The banjo's been a very powerful tool. I mentioned Pete Seeger. He was a spokesman for the civil rights movement, and he famously organised a concert at a place called Peekskill, I think New York State. But Paul Robeson is the main singer, and Pete played the banjo, and Woody Guthrie was there. And there were riots from the local rednecks, unfortunately, and they were all sorts of outrageous effigies of hanging people and all that. So some photos from Peekskill, but that Paul Robeson was involved with that, and Pete Seeger with the banjo. And in case people don't know about Paul Robeson, I'm sure many of you do, he's a very important man in the civil rights movement too. So check him out. Anyway, I'm going to play something, and this is a tune called Texas Traveler, one of my favourite recordings of banjo from 1942, from Frank Patterson and Nathan Fraser, two black musicians.